All right, Cigar Talk Toronto. We are joined today by Henry Cortez. Welcome, Henry.
Thank you very much.
And we were actually just sitting here discussing the cigar markets. So Henry was involved in the cigar world. We'll get into that in a little bit in the United States. Just came back to Canada. So we are just talking about tariffs and taxes and stuff like that. And so you were explaining some concerns that people have had about, you know, Trump tariffs and how they affect tobacco up here and if it is affected at all.
Yeah, exactly. So, a lot of people, not to get too deep into politics, but a lot of people really have concerns that these tariffs are affecting our cigar prices. They're affecting our lifestyle of how we consume cigars. And typically, the tariffs themselves don't actually have much to do with the pricing. It actually has more to do with the the duties and taxes that they get on it, but that's another conversation. But these tariffs are, if you import cigars from the United States that are held in United States warehouses and they
Yeah.
come to Canada, the tax applies on that. But most of the manufacturers will import directly from the Dominican, Nicaragua, Honduras, wherever they come from. And when they come to Canada, there is no tax on it. So if you've picked up a cigar in the States and you're like, this might be an American cigar to me, and we have it in Canada, it's not going to cost more because the Trump tariff affected it.
Okay.
It costs more because of the duties and taxes more than anything.
Okay. So essentially, say from like if it's an American company, is
Mhm.
it better for them to ship from, say, you know, let's just say Joe Blow cigars, they're out of California,
Okay.
but their cigars come from Nicaragua.
Mhm.
Is it better for them to ship from Nicaragua to Canada as opposed to shipping from the United States to Canada?
If the deal is big enough, it makes a lot of sense to ship from Nicaragua to Canada.
Okay.
Now, just avoiding any business person doesn't want to take on any additional pricing, any additional
Yeah.
expenses that are unnecessary. So yeah, I mean, you wanna get them imported from where they're manufactured.
Okay. On that note, let's light up some cigars and let's get into it.
Alrighty.
And I got this My Father Cigars The Judge, and never tried this one. Big fan of My Father cigars, so yeah.
What I like about the Judge is that it's a very complex cigar. For the entry price in the cigar industry, where you can get a very decent price for it. It is the most complex that you can find on the market. It is one of my personal favorites.
And you being in the cigar industry, this is gonna be good because you can hit on certain things that I can't.
Okay, yeah, go
Because I just like to smoke cigars and talk shit. So you're actually you can talk about the notes and the bodies and stuff like this, whereas I'm just like, yeah, I like it. It's spicy. I like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So I was really curious for you to try that Notorious cigar.
Notorious. Yeah,
It,
I was actually looking forward to trying this before I left Vegas. I didn't have enough time. One of the lounges, they love having it. They're very big promoter of it. So I was looking forward to trying it, but never had enough time. So thank you for
hmm
this.
And the good thing about Notorious is, you know, you look at a lot of let's call them celebrity cigars.
Yeah.
A lot of the names that are out there, and I'm not throwing shade at anybody, but say for example, the Mike Tyson 2.0, Undisputed 2.0.
Oh, it was made by
It's
Gurkha.
made by Gurkha, right?
Yeah.
You look at the Guy Fieri knuckle sandwich,
Yep.
you know, that's made by
Espinosa.
Espinosa, right? With Notorious Cigars, Conor McGregor is not an ambassador. It's not just his name, it's his company,
Oh, okay.
it's his brand. So it's not a celebrity cigar, so to say. They're not, it's not a company, you know, coming up with a blend of this and this and this for this guy and putting their name on it. He's actually involved in the process of the cigars. So I'm really curious of your take on that because that's one of my favorite cigars.
Okay.
And
I really like it. It has I can already smell the Nicaraguan in it. Nicaragua has a very distinct smell. There's Ecuadorian as well as very distinct. Um, these are flavors that already entice me and make me want to try it. So It's
And
good.
the thing is, Notorious Cigars, they haven't even been around a year yet.
I mean, a guy like Conor McGregor, you get a lot of buzz there, you
Y-
know?
Yeah, I think they've been around May, April, May of 2025 they launched. So they launched at the same time the podcast started.
So they're coming up on a year then.
Yeah. And that's how like they took notice to us.
Yeah.
And that's how we ended up getting McGregor following us and stuff like that because as soon as they launched, we popped up and we're smoking their cigars. So we were kind of the first one by luck
Yeah.
to kind of take notice to them. So
It's nice when that happens.
it definitely worked out in our favor.
I like the way it smells.
It's in my opinion, of not being like, a cigar critic and stuff like that, it's just a very well balanced. The ash is super clean and good smoke, good flavor.
It must be aged well too.
Um,
Usually, what happens is when you have a cigar that is a little bit difficult to smoke, that that ends up becoming that ends up becoming that ammonia is lingering quite a bit, and that's because the cigar hasn't had enough time to fully let that ammonia release. Could be the conditions, it could be the year that it was made was a very I don't know, heavy, humid um, month or something, or the year.
okay,
So it doesn't allow for a lot. Like sometimes it needs to be a little bit slightly drier in order for that ammonia to fully release. So
okay,
that fermentation process, if it sits at least 5 years, it is a luxury cigar. It's a minimum 5 years sitting,
okay.
aging to be luxury.
I think those are 2 or 4 year aged.
So if it's four, then that would explain why it's nice and why it's smooth for you.
Yeah, I'm pretty somewhere in that range.
So I can already tell you, like right off of the lips, tastes awesome.
Yeah, it's and you know what's awesome is that we smoked a lot of them and a lot of people because you go on our Instagram and a lot of the people that follow us are all from the States pretty much.
Yeah,
And they start seeing Notorious, Notorious, Notorious. They're like, I really want to try that cigar.
yeah, yeah.
So when people are like, yeah, I tried it, I'm like, how did you like it? Like, I loved it. I'm like, sweet.
That's good.
I feel somewhat responsible for getting some of that interest up with certain people. And it's a great cigar. Even for a Canadian price, okay, so I'll ask you this question when you get a bit more through it.
Sure.
At a brick and mortar, you're paying $41 for that. So
Here in
once
Canada.
here in Canada.
All right.
So once you get through it, I want you to tell me, is that a $41 cigar? Where would you value that? Get through it a little bit more. Analyze it a little bit more.
So, okay, off the bat, I can tell you there's a little bit of there's a good amount of like I'm a fan of this. There's a good amount of black pepper,
Yeah,
right? So people that there's some people that don't really enjoy the black pepper flavor. They
yeah,
like pepper, that sensation, maybe cayenne pepper-ish type of feelings, in the cigar, but there's a good amount of black pepper that happens on this. It's not very overpowering. Um, I can say that there is a note of like the slight earthiness, a little bit of sweetness to it on the finish. It's overall it I could just started, but it seems like it's gonna be a smooth ride.
yeah. My perspective, it's a very smooth ride.
I like it already.
And I don't know if other people know this, but a lot of the cigar shops, they're starting to catch wind of it, but they got more blends coming out this year.
These guys,
Yeah. So they're
nice.
working on some newer blends. I think they just kind of innovated the game a little bit too, because I don't know if you've seen me post about this, but they're selling singles in plastic wrap
Hmm.
with Bovota.
Oh, nice.
So essentially, the whole goal is to be able to get premium cigars at the gas station, at the liquor store. And by incorporating the Bovota in the package, you don't need a humidor. So that means they don't need to sit in a humidor at a cigar shop, or you can go to the convenience store and pick up a Notorious.
That's pretty. That's
So
pretty convenient.
they're kind of innovating the game a little bit.
Well,
And
it needs to be. It needs to be. I can yammer all day on about that, but it definitely needs to be.
but there's issues with that in terms of getting it into Canada now because that plastic package is all branded. So you can't
Mm.
plain package that. So I'm assuming there's some type of logistics and other things that would be involved in.
You could. Like, for example, this particular cigar is really hard to see because we're very far away, but it has very nice designs on it and everything. And
Yeah.
Health Canada deems that as what would be considered advertising, so advertising tobacco. So they have the bands, which you probably took off,
Hmm.
right? The green band. So that covers up any sort of stimulation, enticement, anything that could have a customer gravitate towards it,
Yeah.
right? You kind of have to kind of know what you're looking at, so that way you don't get lost in the mix. It's all the same color,
Yeah.
same things. But in the packaging world, as long as you're following those guidelines, you for example, the band only covers 1/3 of the cigar,
Yeah.
right? So if they're covering most of the cigar and just only showing a little bit, kind of like showing a little skin,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
then and the rest of it is still following those guidelines,
Yeah.
there really shouldn't be any reason for Health Canada to bark back at that, you know?
You would have to almost, like some brands like Alec Bradley. There's other brands where they don't even put their labels or their bands on the cigars that come up here. You just get the green band and that's it.
Yeah, it's
They
cheaper.
they have a whole different distribution for that, and so you would almost have to have an additional packaging process just to have those singles come up to Canada.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, they come from the reserve, which we all know stores on the reserve, they
They're the
they op
cowboys of the industry, but
but they operate the way everybody should be able to operate,
Hmm.
you know? It's and it's funny because there's a lot of people that I talk to, and a lot of the questions are, "What's up with the green bands?" And then you got to explain to them, like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yes." Like, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
And then you tell them about the taxes. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, it's 300% tax to get your cigars up here in Canada.
it baffles me because where I came from, like I was living in Vegas for like the last 5 years, and I'm like a stone's throw away from a lounge. So like in the dead of winter when it's really cold, I can go sit in a warm
Yeah,
place and have a cigar. I have, cigars that range from like $7 to $15.
yeah,
Lots of them at my disposal. I can try a different one every single day and it won't break the bank. But when it's
yeah,
taxed 300%, it's like times four. So if I'm spending $15 on a cigar in Vegas, it's likely going to be about $60 here.
yeah.
And that makes no sense to business owners here.
I've had conversations with some cigar owners about how they could get into Canada, et cetera, et cetera. And some of them have asked the question because they don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm not in the industry, so I don't know either. So let's just say you have your brand and you want to get it into Canada.
Hmm.
Does the cigar company pay that 300% tax up front, or is that just consumer based? Here's what it costs once it gets into the country. Now we pay the tax.
It's usually it's usually paid for by the distributor. I think they're changing that now. I think the manufacturer is going to be on the hook for a lot of these as well.
Okay,
In the next year, their Health Canada's has some new regulation changes. But what I can tell you is that it's typically what's charged to the companies that are involved in the import, and then the cost actually gets passed down to the customer
of course.
because it's all involved in the cost per cigar, and then whatever you sell to the retail store, and then whatever the markup is, and then that's all involved. It's all the cost is all already been considered.
Okay.
It's already there in that price.
So going back to Joe Blow cigars in California,
Hmm.
we have a distributor in Canada. They're going to bring in Joe Blow cigars. The distributor pays that tax. Joe Blow doesn't.
Pretty much.
Okay. But
Like,
from what you're saying is now what they're going to start doing is they want that tax up front.
yeah. So in Canada, particularly, I believe it's starting September, October of next year. Business owners are
2027?
no, I'm sorry, this year, this year. I'm just getting used to the year change too, man. Weather change, everything
Yeah,
changed, man.
yeah.
But yeah, October of this year, they're asking for taxes up front. So if Joe Blow Cigars decides to have his cigars imported, he's working with somebody here to bring the cigars in, then he's likely to pay a tax up front. But the deal will be put in. They'll figure out how to make the deal happen so that way that money is going to be there whether it comes from one person or the other.
Yeah.
So they'll make that deal.
And you were mentioning something earlier about having to register SKUs of every cigar.
Mhm.
Because California just implemented that.
Yes. So California just implemented a thing where, for example, Notorious Cigars only has one SKU right now.
Hmm.
They're just pushing the one. They only have to have one cigar on that register, and per Vitola. So
Yeah.
this is a Toro. So if they have Toros, if they have Robustos, if they have Churchills, now they need three.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
so each individual unique SKU will have its own register entry.
Okay.
So in Canada now they're more than likely to ask the distributor to have these registered, but I'm not sure whether it's the manufacturer that's responsible for putting it into the registry so the distributor can sell it,
Okay.
but it's something along those lines. This
So
was all new.
remember the speakeasy that we went to?
Yeah,
So OMG Cigars, the owner was there, Dave.
yeah, he was a cool guy.
He's a really cool guy. Yeah, Dave's awesome. I had a conversation with him, and he was talking about the SKUs and getting into California. And
Yeah,
if I remember correctly, he said he has to register the SKUs.
okay.
I don't know if
In
that'll be this
California for sure,
in
yeah,
California.
yeah.
So it's not,
It's likely to happen like that here
yeah,
too.
because it seems like California, Canada, they operate on the same brainwave.
They're both liberal.
There's that.
We don't want to get into this, but
Yeah,
that's fact.
liberal ideologies. Yeah, I didn't know this either. So they can't have flavored or infused cigars.
Yes, that's been banned.
So if you want to get an infused cigar, you have to go out of state to get it.
Yeah,
I was like, that's fucking crazy.
I know. Yeah, just for something so simple like acids took a hit in
Yeah,
California. I I will, that probably piss off some people, but I am not a fan because I'm a fan of the natural. I'm a fan
yeah,
of what's real, when you got to add something else, you're assisting some of the beginner smokers to kind of get involved in cigars and stuff like that. But that's the whole reason why California wants to ban it. That they're trying to get people away from getting introduced to cigars, and the easiest way is flavored anything, right? So even flavored blunt wraps and things like that, you
yeah,
can't even get. I'm sure you can find it
yeah,
illegally, right? Like stores will probably sell it. They still have them in stock some places. They don't care
yeah,
until they get caught, that is, right? But yeah, it's weird the way things have been moving. But in some other state, like this is what I like about the states. They all run in a certain way where they call the shots with how they want to run their state,
yeah,
with what laws are
yeah,
in their states, what is applicable to cigar smokers in their states.
yeah.
So every state is different. California runs a certain way. There's some places where cigar lounges are banned, and then there's places like Texas.
Where's cigar lounges banned there?
Um, North Dakota just opened up one. So
Okay,
they're one of the ones that are just coming out of that whole prohibition state type of
okay.
thing for cigars, tobacco. Um, Most liberal run states, they have a smoking ban type of things like California. You go to San Francisco, you can't find cigarettes anywhere.
So what about New York? And
New York is taxed heavily. Like I think they're more liberal run. They have lounges,
yeah.
but they have like a 75% tax,
Oh wow.
which is supposed to increase to 125% tax. Um, and then you got places like Texas, Georgia, Nevada, Arizona,
I heard
Pennsylvania, where it's low,
I
cheap.
heard Texas is a little bit restricted too.
They're just coming out of it
Okay.
also.
Okay, okay.
Like you got to remember, like even though we're in 2026, there's still some things in the states that are super new. Like there's been an explosion in Texas with the cigar industry
Yeah.
because they're like almost nothing. It's like almost nothing for taxes. I think it's like 0.5% tax
Okay.
or something like that. It's something, or I know for sure Nevada, where I was from, it's like 50 cents per cigar tax.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, so like what this 300% that's up here is, it's like you could have a whole booming cigar industry up here with lounges and everything, but there's been a lot of restrictions from Health Canada because of the whole
Well,
smoking
that
thing.
was one of the hardest things was so the first guest that we had on the show was David Gomez from Escobar Cigars.
But
And he was coming up to do an event up here with Cigar Chief. And we were trying to find somewhere we could actually sit down and do the interview.
big shout out to Bob from Cigar Chief.
Yeah, Cigar Chief is awesome. Um, and I was like, David, we can't smoke cigars anymore. So that never happened. We ended up doing it through Zoom. It was still a great interview and stuff like that. David Gomez is an awesome guy too.
Yeah.
Uh, so shout out to Escobar Cigars. Um, I still love their cigars. We don't really deal too much with them on that level in terms of like collaborating and stuff like that, but it's nothing bad or anything like that, just the way, things move, but I still love their cigars and
Yeah.
I still smoke them. Um, but yeah, and I think touching on the whole, you're talking about flavored blunt wraps. I'm curious about your opinion on this. So Escobar cigars, they have pre-cut premium blunt wraps.
Mm.
So
It's innovative.
they come in a package of 5.
Uh-huh.
It's already pre-cut premium cigar leaf. Do you think that's a whole new market that these cigar companies could get into?
They they could. As far as market, they'd have to see. I think I think anybody who's looking to sell blunt wraps, because it is tobacco,
Yeah,
they usually get lower grade tobacco or grab a leaf type of tobacco, that type of
yeah,
stuff. It's hasn't been aged, number one, so you're getting ammonia and impurities when you're smoking it, and these guys inhale, so it
yeah,
goes right into your lungs. But if you were to have an aged cigar wrapper that you can use, that's a little bit more durable, that you can actually roll tightly with,
yeah,
um, that's actually going to be a little bit healthier, I think. And because there's not first of all, when ammonia, let me just backtrack for just a second. Ammonia is like, when you burn ammonia, it's like poisonous.
yeah,
It's almost like inhaling like carbon monoxide. Like it's really bad for the body. So what happens is, when you have this ammonia and you're inhaling it over time, as most people who are regular smokers of cigarettes, blunts, anything like that, over time, you could develop weaker lungs, asthma, things like that, and that's avoidable. That's an avoidable health risk, right?
okay,
Because you can get aged stuff which has no ammonia in it, right? So you're already avoiding a lot of the bad stuff that can be bad for you over time, right?
yeah,
So to answer your question, um, blunt wraps, for example, the when you get finer tobacco to use for blunt wraps, your cigar or smoking experience is elevated immediately.
yeah,
It's cleaner, and as far as marketing, I'm not sure if the average cannabis smoker is going to pay extra just to have that extra luxury. I'm not sure if they'll do it, but I don't know the market that well,
mm,
right? I do know that you can buy 7 grams of some really crazy strong stuff, and that will probably run somebody like 50, $60 because it's so premium and high in percentage, right? THC percentage.
yeah,
So people will pay for that, which is considered a luxury, but nobody really labels it as that.
yeah.
So maybe there is a market for that luxury wrapper to be used as a blunt
Because
wrap.
the way I look at it is, if I want to roll a blunt, which is typically what I like to smoke, I don't
Mm.
really smoke that much anymore, but one thing that I don't like is having to crack the cigar open, empty it out, re-roll it. The fact that they're already pre-cut, there's no big veins or anything through it, so it's not a pain in the ass to roll. You just pull a leaf out, roll it up, done.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the convenience is there. And I'm just wondering, like, is that a whole new market that these cigar companies could take? Or, let's just say a Rocky Patel, for example. I don't want to be associated with weed.
Yeah.
There's also that risk too, right?
Yeah.
But then they could also come up with a new company that is essentially Rocky Patel, but call it something else, and boom, premium blunt wraps.
I think it's possible. Again, it's really up to the discretion of the person who owns the brand and what they're doing to look out for their branding. That now we're getting in more into marketing, really, but um, I think that if you have the resources available to do that,
Yeah,
there's no reason why you couldn't get into that. That there could be
yeah,
somebody who you can partner with who, yeah, we get it from this company. This company ages them for X amount of years. This company um, grows them in this particular region in Nicaragua, and it gives it a lot more richness and flavor,
yeah,
and elevates your cannabis experience a lot
yeah,
more. Because one thing I did notice is that, like, I have dabbled in cannabis. I'm not ashamed to say it. It's when you combine tobacco with the nicotine with the cannabis itself,
yeah,
like an indica or something, you sometimes get more relaxed out of it, but still sharp focused. When you don't add the tobacco, you don't have a sharpness. It's
mm,
just kind of you're just kind of like
yeah,
indica in the couch feeling, right?
yeah, yeah,
So with the tobacco, it kind of gives you that little bit of sharpness where you can keep up with everything,
yeah,
right? So there are benefits to having it, but again,
yeah.
anything that you
I
inhale in
could
your
see that.
lungs.
That's why I think that's one of the reasons why I like with blunts is it just takes it to a different aspect instead of rolling papers and it's just the pure weed.
Yeah.
Um, and I think Escobar Cigars has success with it because, well, number one, Nas one of the owners of it. So there's three owners.
Oh, really?
So there's David
Interesting.
Gomez, Mike McNaughton, and Nas. So Nas, again, going back to the Notorious, with the name recognition, he's not an ambassador. He actually owns a portion of the company.
Nice.
And how that started was, so Escobar was started before Nas came in. And essentially, they approached Nas with it. And long story short, Nas was like, send me the cigars, let me try them. They send him the cigars, he smokes some. Yeah, let's do it. That's how Nas came in. So that's where it elevated a bit more. So now you come up with the blunt wraps and you have that associated with Nas. Now you kind of have that street um, viewership.
Yeah.
So I could see why they would do something like that. It was definitely a hit. It enticed me to try it.
There you
That's how
go.
I got into smoking cigars with Escobar cigars
Really?
because
Okay.
I'm a very big. I like to support, let's say, the smaller brand.
Mhm.
From the clothing that I buy and stuff like that. And when I see Nas had a cigar, I'm gonna tell the rest of this story on another episode. But Escobar Cigars is 50% responsible for me getting into cigars because I was like, oh, Nas got a cigar. I want to try that.
There you go.
And it took a long time to find them. And then when I finally found them, I ordered them from Cigar Chief. And we tried a few cigars. I wasn't that big into them. One of them was the Matil Quadrata. I liked
It's
that
because
one.
you just started, right? You just
Yeah,
started getting into cigars.
yeah.
All right.
And then when I had the Escobars, the first one I had was a Habano. I was like, oh, this is really good. I can't crack this open and roll a blunt with this.
No, you don't. You don't
You
want
know?
to.
So that's essentially they're 50% responsible for me getting into cigars.
Some owners, you'd make them lose their mind and be like, "You want to do what to my cigars?" Like,
Yeah.
like it's very holy
Yeah, yeah.
smokes.
Not only that, you're paying $25 for a cigar. You don't want to throw it out to essentially roll a blunt. And some people won't care,
Yeah.
but it's I definitely think they have that future insight. And I think they're the only ones that do it right now.
Yeah.
The prepackaged blunt wraps.
I think that's an elevated experience for sure. Um, I grew up listening to hip hop as well, so yeah, that kind of stuff really entices me. Like, um, because there's a bit of nostalgia that goes there,
Yeah.
so you remember the feelings like soon as like one anthem plays in a club and you just, oh yeah, like go nuts.
Yep.
And So there's that's associated with it. So that just excites you enough.
Yeah, it's and apparently Jay-Z tried to start his own cigar brand, so he was partnered, I think, with Cohiba, and that lasted about a year and it flopped. Once again, Nas over Jay-Z. He ethered
Either
him
third of
in the cigar industry.
For those people watching, I appreciate you. And these things are interesting because they're all larger, business people, people who have had success. They're cigars and success is synonymous because there's something very special about a cigar where um it's clean, it gives you sharp focus, it gives you a moment to chill and relax. Like we're taking a
Yes.
moment out of the day. We're probably going to take maybe 60 to 90 minutes out of the day to have this, and that's
Yeah.
16 to 90 minutes break
Yeah.
from the day. And what I appreciate about cigars is that it gives me a moment to relax, gives me a moment to be introspective because I usually smoke cigars alone. I like to taste things and understand what's happening in this cigar. And when you connect with people like we are right now,
Yeah.
you will have the best conversation you have ever had with a cigar. You can't have that kind of conversation with cigarettes.
No.
Weed is very interesting, but you can't have the same deep introspective conversations where you bond with each other and talk to each other in a manner where there's respect.
Yeah.
Something about cigars is just very special, very magical that most people who are in the higher realm of business or in the economy understand this. But people who are regular, everyday people that don't, I feel like they're missing out. And it's tough to get into it here in Canada because of how hard it's taxed
Mm.
and how much it costs to get one cigar here. But if you go to the States, it's like a fraction of the cost, and there's
Oh
people,
yeah.
regular people smoking it every day.
Touching on that one, so you were in the States in Vegas for 5 years,
Mhm.
and you just came back to Canada.
Yeah.
What was, I'm gonna say it like this. When you came back, let's touch on the cigar aspect of it. What was your what the fuck moment?
You can't smoke inside anywhere. Like in Vegas, I was a stone's throw away from like two lounges. I could throw a stone and probably hit it, like I was close enough. And in the dead of winter, you can go to a lounge, sit down in a warm place and smoke a cigar. There was convenience.
Yeah.
They had so many varieties for like it didn't break the bank to smoke a cigar. And so you had there's a big market there for that.
Yeah.
Right? Coming here, I'm like the only people that smoke cigars are doctors, lawyers, and anybody who's really enthusiastic about it.
Yeah.
Connoisseurs, right? Sommeliers, people that just want to get into it. They have to have a decent salary in order to be able to do that.
Yeah.
To me, that's like that whole other people that should get into it because a lot of people trying to find ways to quit cigarettes.
Yeah.
A cigar will help you quit cigarettes. I'll explain that later, but a cigar will help you quit cigarettes and you have very clean tobacco to deal with. And I feel like there's a lot of people who have health issues that are taking on a lot of stuff into their lungs that they shouldn't be. This could totally change everything, and I
Yeah.
don't understand why it's not looked at differently in this country and why it's not regulated differently in this country.
I almost look at it, it could also be a form of therapy for people that are dealing with a lot of stress in the current time
Very much.
because you sit down and you just smoke
Hmm.
and you relax.
It's like the peace pipe.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Speaking of pipes, have you ever tried the CAO Stoke?
I'm assuming it's something that got rolled into something that's shaped like a pipe.
So there's a pipe tobacco company,
Oh,
something
okay.
Stoke. Uh, I'm not familiar with them. And so CAO cigars, they use their pipe tobacco in the cigar.
Mm,
It's a very interesting cigar.
yeah.
It smells like a piece of smoked meat. It's not as strong as it smells, but it's a very interesting cigar. I'd like to try it again just to give it another try.
Hmm.
Where did I get that? I think I got that one in the States.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very I don't know if I'm a fan. I think again I gotta try it again. I don't know if I'm a fan of it, but again, collaborating worlds. You're taking pipe tobacco, putting it in a premium cigar, and doing something different.
Yeah. I didn't get too heavy with the pipe stuff when I was in the States, but I bought a corn cob because that's like step one in when you're getting into pipes because you don't want to buy something crazy expensive like a briarwood pipe or anything like that. Nothing crazy expensive. You get a corn cob and you get started, right? And
Yeah.
there's two places that I love going to get pipe tobacco in Vegas. There's one called Low Side Cigars, which is actually outside of Vegas.
Okay.
They have at least, I'm gonna say something like 20 jars, 20 different varieties of pipe tobacco. They
Okay.
got that more heavy, meaty one. They got more sweetness. They got a whole
Yeah.
bunch of stuff, right? And then there's Mr. Bill's, which is a regular smoke shop, like a general smoke shop, but they also have a very good variety of stuff. Um, Pipe tobacco is great because it's just you just have so much to try, so much to taste, and when you find what it is that you know is good for your palate, that
Yeah.
you really you enjoy, it's like that's it. You know,
I've never tried a pipe. Never tried. I'd like to try it just to see what it's like. I guess I got a sample of it with that CAO cigar.
yeah,
That's another really good brand. I don't know if you've ever tried many CAOs, but I've never
hmm
had a CAO I didn't like.
yeah. The Brazil one's really good.
It is. Have you tried the America one?
The America, yeah,
I love the America.
it's got that nice little stripe.
Yeah, there's a nice creaminess to it.
Yeah.
That's why I like a bit of the pepper, creamy. They had a Canada exclusive one, the CAO Borealis,
hmm
and it actually uses Ontario tobacco, which I didn't even know that they grow cigar tobacco in Canada, but it was a really good cigar.
That's beyond me too. That's new to me.
Yeah, I bought it just because Ontario tobacco, man, I gotta try this shit. And it's not even on their website. You won't find them advertise it, nothing. It's just if you see it in the store, it's there. I don't know if it's was a limited edition, but it was a really good cigar. And the Mathilde Canada, that was a really good cigar.
hmm
I actually like that probably the best out of their cigar line was
Yeah.
the Mathilde Canada. Yeah, that was a really good cigar. Unfortunately, no more. That was a limited edition run. Once the stores sold out, that was it.
Yeah.
I wish I bought a box.
I like limited runs. Like there's a lot of business owners that are they're adamant about not having limited runs because they want to make sure they have consistent variety for their customers, right? But I feel like sometimes the limited runs are done so well, like they're just done to a level where it's like they've made a masterpiece.
Yep.
And and if you're not willing to put that in front of your customers and let the customers enjoy it for the limited run that it is, then you're not helping the brand that you're purchasing
Yeah.
from, right? And I feel like that is something that more owners should be doing. They should
Yep.
be getting into those
Yeah.
limited runs.
Well, you also have the Escobar Ultra Black Platinum Series.
hmm
That tobacco comes from Casa Carrillo. It's all the private stock of tobacco that they use for that. Really good cigar. That's a limited edition run.
Korea's very good.
Yeah, it's a really good cigar. You got the Crown Heads Moose Kick. That's a limited edition run. That's a really good cigar. Crown Heads is an awesome fucking brand too. I
Yeah,
love Crown Heads.
I've had
Um,
this. You had the Series E,
no.
so they that is a very complex cigar as well. Complexity is something that's huge in the States where some people like a very consistent cigar where it just tastes the same all the way through.
Yeah.
But then there's people that like something that switches up. Like this is switched up. It's switched up at least three times since we've been talking.
Okay.
Like I'm entering the second third right now, and I've tasted like a bit of a little bit of a floral note to it. I've gotten a little bit of coffee in there,
Yeah.
like espresso-ish kind of, but not so bold or punches you like that. It's just kind of just lingering. It's just kind of like background,
And
you
that's
know?
what I was saying, where it's like it's a very well balanced, where it's not like a complete overpower
hmm
switch. It's a natural flow,
hmm
and it's just a very good, smooth blend all the way through.
Yeah.
That's about the extent of what I can get into that.
Well, that's good. That's a great
Um,
explanation.
but that's the way, yeah, like the first time I smoked a Notorious and I lit it up, I was like, okay, it's not really that good. And
As
then
soon as you start, yeah.
once it got, we'll say an eighth into it, I was like, okay, it's picking up. And by the time I was done the cigar, I was like, that was a damn good cigar. I
Mm,
want another one.
yeah.
And yeah, it's again, it's in my top fives. What's your take on it so far?
I I like that it's smooth. I've still been trying to like find the ammonia. Like I always try to find the ammonia to whether I like it or not. Like that's
Okay.
if there's no ammonia in it or there's it's very, very minimal and I can enjoy more of the flavors,
Yeah.
I like it. That means it's smooth,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, this has been very smooth. This is very it's Nicaragua usually has a very bold flavor that surrounds your entire palate. Like
Yeah.
every part of your palate is like it's got something going on. And this definitely lights up all the lights there. Um I like the playfulness of the pepper because it ends up becoming like it ends up becoming when you first light, it's always going to be spicier,
Yeah.
but it mellows out
Yeah.
and sometimes picks up because it's complex. So sometimes you'll get a little bit more dominant pepper here, or closer to the end, I might get a little bit more dominant pepper, or it might totally mellow out entirely. Like I don't know, I'll see, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But this so far has all around been bold, smooth, and gives me like a nice little playfulness of pepper, and that's like typical Habano style type of smoke.
So you're talking about ammonia, right?
Mhm.
How would somebody like myself identify ammonia in a cigar?
If you can't, if you get halfway to the final third of the cigar
Hmm.
and you want to put it down, there's ammonia in it.
Okay.
If you can't taste it, then that's one way to know.
Okay.
But when you taste it, some people have said, I've heard this a lot because I travel lounge to lounge. I speak to lots of customers of those lounges, and some people say it gets a little minty. Some people say that it gets like because when you burn it too hot, too heavy, then
Hmm.
you will taste ammonia.
Okay.
If you power smoke and you have like a little bit of a pyramid thing happening at the
Yeah.
top, pointing like a pencil, sort of, then it means you're smoking too fast,
Okay.
and that will burn it at a
I
different
don't think
rate.
I'm
But
smoking too fast
no, you're okay.
then.
No, you're okay.
Sometimes I do like power smoke. I'm like
Yeah.
puff, 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 puff.
If I'm working, I don't care about the flavor. I will power smoke.
Okay.
Like if I'm sitting working on something and smoking at the same time, I'll power smoke. I don't really care. But I try not to smoke my good cigars when I do that, you
Hmm.
know. I have my
Yeah.
work
Yeah.
cigars.
Yeah. Yeah. Like so. Again, somebody like myself, where you're saying if you get to the last third and you want to put it down, that's ammonia. But my mindset is I pay too much money for this damn thing. I'm gonna smoke it all the way through it, whether I like it or not. I'm not gonna waste it.
Get your money's worth, man.
So what I guess identifying flavors, you're saying minty.
Minty is like again, if you're just burning it too fast, it actually too hot and too fast eliminates a lot of the flavors.
Okay.
That's like that disrupts the
I could
experience.
see that. Yeah, I could see
Yeah.
that from times I've smoked a little too quick, or you're trying to take a photo with
Yeah.
the cigar and you're trying to get a lot of smoke going and you're just puff, 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 puff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's just more just like a burnt flavor
Yeah.
over the actual flavor of the cigar. So I can understand that. But
Ammonia, well, you'll get more bitterness,
okay,
more bitterness to it. Um, you can tell that there's good flavor in it, but then there's just something about it that's not pepper. It's more bitter. It just totally turns the flavor overall. It
okay,
just means that it hasn't been aged enough for it to be a smooth experience, right? So lower
okay,
grade tobacco even, they won't age that very much.
okay. That's good to know. I'm gonna try to identify those things because I'm not good with identifying. So the flavors that I can identify, pepper slash spice,
Yep.
I can't quite differentiate the two. I'm just like it's spicy.
Okay.
Earthy, I can pick that out. creaminess, I can pick that out, like the CAO America.
Yeah.
Um, and actually the Croatian Mafia Soldier. That's a really good cigar. I need to pick up a box of those. Um, I can pick up the leather, a bit of chocolate
Hmm.
sometimes, but that's kind of the extent of my palate.
Okay.
My wife can pick up a lot more than I can. She could be like, I'm getting this, this, and this, and I'll look it up, be like, oh yeah, you're right, that's what's in there.
Yeah.
I could be like, oh, I'm picking up this flavor. I look it up, that's not even in the cigar at all.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm just creating the flavors in my head.
Well, your palate can actually be divided into like four quadrants. Your tongue, your mouth, where your teeth is to like maybe like couple inches in, like that's gonna be like the tip of your tongue, the tip of your palate. Then maybe another 2 inches in, that's like the first middle. Then there's a second middle, and then there's the rear of your palate.
Okay.
Typically, what happens on the front of your palate, you'll get coffee on the tip. Um, in the second one, you'll get more of this, and you'll get more spice.
Okay.
In the third one, you'll get more earthiness,
Yeah.
and in the rear is where you actually get the sweetness.
Okay.
And if you actually go and try these things like in food, you'll notice it on your palate the same way.
Okay.
So that's when you start trying things with food, you can actually pick that out into the cigar itself.
I've seen somebody made a video about this, and they're like, if you want to start picking up the notes,
Yeah.
so you pick up the cigar, right? And say it's got this, this, and this in it. Go and eat this
Hmm.
until you can identify that note in the cigar.
Hmm.
And then, okay, once you learn how to identify that note, then eat this and then try it.
Yeah,
So that was kind of a cool little like tip of information.
that's cool. That's sommelier people who are licensed sommelier people.
Yeah.
They have like some kind of a license, some kind of certificate to show that they know what they're doing. These are some of the things that they train with
Okay.
to be able to actually provide that experience, because cigars is not just, hey, smoke it and you'll like it, right? Part of the experience and the luxury side of the experience is, I have to let you know what is in this cigar and what is going to entice you. If you're a person that likes spice, of course I'm going to play more to the spice
Yeah.
and explain that to you. And so that those are the things that like some people like creaminess and
Yeah.
sweetness and smoothness at the same time. I would recommend a Davidoff. Some of them over there have that,
Yeah.
right? I'd recommend Nicaraguan.
And that's what I get with the Eladio Diaz before and after,
Oh yeah,
because he was a master blender with Davidoff. So essentially, it's got that nice peppery, creamy note to it. I,
yeah.
I love that cigar. That was one of the biggest surprises for me last year in terms of cigars. I was like, wow, I love this.
You might like Highclere Castle Victorian.
Okay.
That one is by far, it's a more of a higher end one, but
Okay.
that one by far, and I had that one in the States. I was like, oh my God, this is good. I love habanos, so it's like a habano. It's very creamy. It has two kinds of spice to it. It has black pepper that burns in the front, and more of a cayenne that burns towards the back of the
Okay.
palate. And overall, just very, very nice creaminess.
So we're gonna try this, okay? Because you know how to identify the flavors.
Yeah.
You smoked this cigar before.
My father, yes.
My father, the judge.
Yep.
I've never smoked this before, so I'm gonna take a pull, and I'm gonna say what I think it is, and you're gonna tell me if that's in it.
We'll try. And I'll preface that by saying that my father, the judge, is the one of the most complex cigars on the market, which is why I really like it. So it'll always change up on you. I think I drove from Las Vegas to Los Angeles once smoking that cigar, and I think it changed. I was counting the change ups. It changed up like 61 times on me. So that was the most complex thing I've ever tried.
I'm definitely getting earth.
Hmm.
Okay. Leather.
Yeah.
That's about it. That's all I can get.
So that's where it's at right now.
Yeah.
If you go maybe like a couple more inches down,
Yeah.
it might change up a little bit where something else might be a little bit more
But I've
prominent.
noticed the consistency. Like when I say I'm picking out that earthy flavor,
Yeah.
it's been there the whole way for me. Again, my complex flavor palette is not there. Might never be there.
That's okay.
But for me, I like a strong cigar. And when it comes to a strong cigar, you know, the earthy, leathery, peppery, as long as it's got those three things for me, I'm good. For me, that's a good cigar right there.
There you go.
Um, yeah, that's about all I've picked up through this cigar so far.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So with the My Father, the one, like the earthiness can change a little bit. Some people will say earth, and it's like typically you're meaning like rich soil,
yeah,
right? The rich soil could have a little bit of saltiness to it. That rich soil could have a little bit of like just taste like some people have claimed that some of the cigars they tried just taste like dirt, right? It could just
yeah,
have this dryness to it.
yeah,
It all depends on the region, number one.
yeah,
Like if you go to Honduras, Honduras has anything from stuff that tastes like dirt to, hey, wow, this is peppy. I really like this earthiness. You know, I will say there's one cigar that I really enjoy, which is Camacho makes a Connecticut. It's just entry level stuff. I like to let them sit in my humidor to age to get out the ammonia so I can actually enjoy the cigar. But Camacho Connecticut has this earthiness to it that's actually not quite creamy, but you know how you get that silky kind of a smoke and you get that texture on your tongue,
okay,
right? That's what adds to the creaminess, but the creaminess it usually entails like somewhat of a sweetness tinge
yeah,
to it,
yeah,
right? But that Camacho Connecticut does have a very, very, very nice earthiness to it that is not salty, that
yeah,
is not dirt, that is it actually overall just it's kind of like when you add some people add when they're like making bread or something and they're adding a little bit of like baking soda to it to kind of give
okay,
it its airiness
yeah,
in the bread. It kind of has this little airiness
okay,
in the earth itself. So it there's so many ways you could describe it, but I feel like for me those are the nicest type of
yeah. The
earthiness.
earthiness I'm getting out of this is not dirt.
Hmm.
It's a premium dirt. That's the way I would describe it. Premium dirt. To kind of break it down to people like me that, you know, are not complex with flavors, it's like good dirt, not like bad dirt. No, it's a good cigar. I it's a good strength. Like it's not strong to the point of like, oh shit, I don't know if I can get through this whole thing.
Hmm.
It's been a very I guess you're saying it switched flavors on you 60 something times.
Yeah,
So it's very good at the flavor changes. It's not like boom, like holy shit, what is this?
yeah,
It's a very
it's
good
pretty smooth.
flow,
Yeah.
right?
It's subtle
Yeah,
changes, right?
yeah. And
Um,
that's probably why I can't pick up a lot of the changes because it's very subtly. But for me, with somebody that likes a nice strong cigar, it's definitely good. And that's why I've been pausing and kind of like trying to see if I'm picking something else up. Maybe I'm searching too much.
yeah,
But the leather and the earth is there, and I'm good with that. It's not so much peppery,
mhm,
but got a good leather and earth combination.
that's good.
That's all I can get.
That's great. That's it's more than what we previously described, you know?
Hmm.
So, um, it is one of my favorite because it's just how much
Oh shit! I
uh,
ashed on my phone. Oh shit! It's always me these days.
the
Toss that over here.
complexity is what makes a great cigar for me. Like I like things, but I guess it's more or less depends on my mood too. Like sometimes I just want something consistent.
Yeah.
I'm very complex. I'm not the typical cigar smoker.
Do you like to pair cigars? So
Hmm.
I know with other things like for example, right now I can't drink,
Yeah, me
and
neither. So
and I used to like to pair it with whiskey, but then there's also other cigars like I've smoked with my wife, and we smoke the same cigar. She's drinking red wine, and I'm drinking a nice glass of bourbon, let's say, and
mhm.
I'm like, oh, this is amazing, da da da. And she's like, yeah, I don't like this cigar. Like maybe because the red wine is. not allowing certain flavors to open.
Could depend on the red wine too.
Yeah,
Some what I will say is that some things that are bold, like I don't know, like a Pinot Noir or like these things that are just super rich, might actually block the subtleties of the cigar. So you it might overpower your palate,
yeah,
right? And that might actually reduce what you or your sensitivity to what's happening in the cigar.
yeah,
So there is that playing into it. The other side is um, if for example bourbon, everybody goes nuts for bourbon in the States. Like everybody smokes bourbon more than whiskey. Up
yeah.
here it's the opposite,
We
right?
can't even get bourbon up here anymore.
Yeah, yeah. Yay, Doug Ford.
Yeah, there's that aspect, but there's a reason for it. It's and I'm also wondering, had I not drank coffee, would I have been able to pick up more flavors from this?
I think so, yeah. Because coffee's rich.
Yeah,
It's very rich. It's very bold. Like there's nothing that you can mix in coffee that'll reduce the coffee
yeah,
flavor, right? It's very bold.
yeah,
So I'm a purist. Typically, I will just smoke and just have a bottle of water. So I want to taste everything. Like when I was training myself,
okay,
I would only do water, right? Right now we're drinking soda water, which is fantastic. It's helping me to taste it. Um, but that gives you that helps you train a little better. And then when you go back to adding whiskey or adding coffee or adding a wine, adding some people in the States love drinking like a Coca-Cola with it.
yeah,
They want to add a little sweetness to it. Like when you go back to these things, then you'll actually see how it all plays together.
yeah. So I'm gonna touch on that now because you said get down another like inch or so, and
Yeah.
it's gonna change on you.
Yep.
The leather really picked up on me just
There you
now.
go. There you go.
See, I'm learning.
That's what I love about that cigar. It's just extremely playful with its complexities.
No, it like when I was talking about okay, I'm getting the earth and the leather.
Yeah.
The leather was very subtle, but it started to now overtake the rest of it.
Mhm.
And it's not an overpowering leather, but now I'm noticing a lot more. It's almost like when you're mixing one song into the other and you kind of hear the song coming in, the
It's the blend.
transition, you
Yep.
know? Yeah.
Yep.
It's yeah, now I'm really getting the leather.
That's awesome. I like how you put that in with the DJ blend. Because it's sometimes so subtle. Sometimes you don't you the when you've been to the club and then all of a sudden they're transitioning the song and
Yeah,
it starts to pick up very slowly, but you don't hear it yet, but you feel the vibe. The
yeah,
vibe has
yeah,
changed and you know something is coming. You know a new song is coming.
yeah,
And then suddenly you start to hear it and then you're just like, "Oh, they're about to play this song."
yeah.
And that is kind of like exactly what you
And
what you
that's why I
expressed.
use that analogy because I have to dumb it down for people like me. And not to say that we're dumb, right? But it's just the fact that there's a lot of cigar smokers that are just, your average blue collar cigar smoker.
Mm,
So how would I explain it as if I were explaining to myself? Okay, it's that transition from one song to the next.
yeah,
And then it starts to subtly come in and you kind of hear the beat a little bit and then boom.
exactly.
Yeah. No, it definitely switched up on me there. And that's something that I want to do. I want to learn a bit more about how to pick up the different transitions and flavors and maybe not being able to drink is going to allow me to do that now.
Yeah.
Because essentially it's either I drink coffee
Hmm.
or I drink water.
Yeah.
And maybe I should leave the coffee alone when I'm trying to experiment with it. That's good advice right there.
And there's no shame in drinking water. That's
Mm.
just, you want to get the most out of your cigar,
Yeah.
the best experience, understanding the nice little, nuances that this
Yep.
cigar has, because each cigar is totally
Yep.
different. That's the best way.
That's what I like. So Cigar Chief, they sit down whenever they do a featured cigar, they sit down, they do a video, they smoke it, they talk about the cigar and what it blends well with.
Yeah.
That's what I like about them.
Yeah.
They'll say, okay, this cigar, cup of black coffee.
Hmm.
This cigar, a glass of red wine. This cigar, water.
Yeah. We were talking about AJ Fernandez. Actually, my favorite AJ Fernandez cigar is the Enclave. And they have two boxes. They got a broadleaf one and a Habano one.
Yeah,
I love the Habano one.
yeah, that's
And
a
my
good
guilty
cigar.
pleasure was this. I'd take that Habano Toro.
Yep,
I would pair it with a coffee first thing in the morning. I'd actually put not even half a shot, like maybe a third of a shot a Remy Martin VSOP all
Okay.
together, and that was like my favorite thing. So like there, I couldn't do that with any other cigar. I could only do that with AJ Fernandez Enclave Habano.
Yeah, that's a good cigar. I love AJ Fernandez cigars.
Mm,
I've never had one like there's some brands that, you know, some of them are hit or miss for me.
yeah.
And then there's some that it doesn't matter what it is, it's just a hit. CAO is one of them. AJ Fernandez is one of them.
Mm,
Escobar is one of them.
mm,
I'm going to say positively, Notorious Cigars is going to be one of them.
yeah.
Croatian Mafia Cigars is one of them. And I'm
So
not a,
the earthiness is very dominant right now in the
yeah,
second half, coming to the third, coming into the third, the final third. I'm not there yet, but final third, it's mostly earthy dominant, which is it's actually nice. It's got slight saltiness to it, like to that earth.
okay.
I like it.
Is there, do you think the quality of the cigar is reflective of how white the ash is? Is that a thing?
I think it's region dependent. So it all depends on the minerals that are grown in the soil in the region. The minerals will determine, what gets taken into the leaf and how the leaf burns. That's why certain regions can produce really, really white ash and others can't.
Okay. So it's not necessarily reflective of the quality, it's just the where it comes from and the region and the soil and
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, like in Nicaragua, they have Esteli, Nicaragua specifically. I think that's the best region in the world.
That's where
There's
the mafias come from.
the most flavorful. It's the best,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
yeah.
Um, some parts of or some leaf in Esteli won't produce white ash, but some of them will produce extremely white ash, the way a Cuban cigar will burn. And you know, it all depends on what part of the plant itself. So the tobacco plant has like four different regions. There's
Yeah.
like the crown, there's like they call it the undercrown, and there's the seco, and then the viso, which is like the real bottom that doesn't get a lot of the sun. The
Okay.
best is wherever the sun hits the most,
Okay.
and that also affects how it burns and what color it burns
Okay.
into. So it's really hard to determine what exactly is going to make a white ash unless, someone's been in the industry for like 20 years on the
Yeah.
farm and they've seen and they'll know exactly which one it is.
Okay. Because I see a lot of these things online, like, oh, look how white that ash is.
Hmm.
It's that means it's quality, or that means it's this. But I've also had kind of not so good cigars, and the ash was very white.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know if that really makes sense. I mean, it could, but this cigar is $5 and the ash is super white and it's not really that flavorful.
Yeah.
So,
Like this is gray. This is grayish. Like I'm wearing white, right? So
yeah,
you can tell that it's gray.
yeah,
And it flavors great on it,
yeah,
So I mean I can't say that this is a poorer quality cigar because it has gray ash. I
yeah.
can't say that.
And speaking about the Cubans too, I didn't know that they use double binders.
All of them?
Yeah, that's how you tell a Cuban cigar, a real Cuban cigar, is they have a double binder. So they got the filler, they use two binders, and then they use the wrapper.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I seen somebody had a little interview with somebody in the cigar world, and they cracked open the Cuban like this is how you tell a Cuban, and also the way that they use the filler. They use it in a sense that if you grab it and do it like this, it kind of opens up like this. So it's the way they use the filler is a certain way.
Hmm.
The double binder and then the wrapper. That's how you tell if it's a real Cuban.
I didn't know about the binder. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
They have this thing, this technique. I don't know how to describe it, but they have this technique called it's called the cigar is called like a sandwich,
Hmm.
and the Cubans perfected this, and other regions, other brands in other regions will mimic this, right? And if you're lucky, you get somebody that has double binders too, right? Like
Yeah.
so many people just make their cigars so many different ways. It's not just tobacco that's just rolled up. It's such an art,
Yeah.
such an art form.
And like, so I've cracked open knockoff Cubans, but are still Cubans,
Hmm.
and they had the double binder. I
Hmm.
was like, shit. So that is real. Yeah. I wonder. So what do you think the benefit of a double binder would be?
Flavor, for me, number one comes to mind. Uh, most of the flavor you get is from the wrapper anyway.
Yeah, yeah,
Like if you were to have the leaf itself by like isolated from the cigar and you were to lick it and try it and all that stuff, like you will see that that's where the most of the flavor is. The binder I think will give you more strength, maybe. And if it's very smooth, it's aged, you
yeah,
know, then you won't actually feel that strength, but you will notice after a little while when the nicotine hits you, then yeah, you're this one's a pretty strong cigar.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
don't know until it creeps up on you.
You have you ever had cigar sickness?
Yeah. So it's like it's your nicotine tolerance, right? The first time I ever smoked a very, very heavy Maduro, I smoked like a La Flor Dominicana. Um,
Okay,
they they're typically strong Dominican cigars,
yeah,
and they're great. This one that I really enjoy that's actually really strong Maduro is called La Gloria Cubana Serie R Maduro.
okay,
Super strong, very, very like it's practically black. The
yeah,
Maduro leaf, it's insane. Um, and the first time I ever smoked that cigar, I was maybe halfway through, and I was just like, whoa, like I need to put this down. I'm getting lightheaded. You know, and that's actually your blood sugar is dropping. So big shout out to Matt from Low Side Cigars. He taught me this in Vegas. So Low Side Cigars is actually in Pahrump, just outside of Vegas. But he taught me this. He said that your blood sugar drops and because of the nicotine, the
yeah,
heaviness of the nicotine, and when you're unable to tolerate it, you'll get lightheadedness. You might feel sick to your stomach. You might feel a little drunk. You know, like kind of
yep,
like you've been
yep.
drinking, and in order to get your blood sugar back up where it needs to be, you can pick up like a piece of chocolate, something that has a little sugar just to kind of pop yourself back up to
Okay.
where you need to be. Like in his lounge, he has a big jar full of like Hershey Kisses. So if
Oh,
you ever
okay.
get that feeling, you could just walk over to the jar, pick up a couple,
Okay.
eat them, and it puts you right back where you need to be.
Okay. So we should have a jar of Hershey Kisses here to go with our jar of jelly beans.
Oh, there you go.
Shout out to
That's
Infamous
perfect.
Sis with the jelly beans. If you
Nice.
watch the that episode, you'll know the story behind the jelly beans.
Mhm.
Um, okay. I had cigar sickness from the CAO Borealis.
I've never tried that one.
And the second time I had the cigar, I didn't get cigar sickness, but that time it was bad too. I started with the cold sweats.
Oh no.
Yeah, dude, I got sick. I didn't puke. I almost puked, and maybe I was smoking it too quick, and it just like hit like hard.
Yeah.
I still really enjoyed the cigar, but I had severe sickness from it.
That's terrible. But yeah, so if you want to avoid that, like again, eat something before. I recommend to eat something before you have a cigar. So
Yeah,
maybe after a meal,
yeah,
you know, maybe a quick snack, a little something,
yeah,
um, and then have something on hand in case. But know what you're getting into first and foremost. You wanna. They have like these little gauges of like how strong it is. What is the strength on this?
yeah,
Some of them will tell you it's mild strength, medium strength, full strength. So that will give you an idea of what might happen.
yeah,
When you're mild, it won't happen. When you're full strength, you know you're gonna either if you don't have the tolerance for it yet, then you know you're gonna need something to help you
yeah,
to stay in the right zone. Because the more you smoke it, the more you get used to it,
yeah.
right? So that's what some people have bad experiences. Like a friend of mine, first thing he tried was a Maduro, never smoked a cigar again. My dad didn't know you don't inhale. Never smoked it again, like 1970s until recently I got him to smoke it
Okay.
again, and he loves it now. But yeah, just know what you're getting into beforehand, so that way it doesn't hit you. Some of this, it's totally avoidable, is what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
trying to
yeah.
say.
I think what prepared me for cigars was smoking blunts all the time. I think that's where my tolerance for the strength. That's why I'm not a fan of like Connecticut's. They're too light for me.
Yeah,
And that's why right away I went into like the Maduros and the stronger cigars because I was already used to always smoking blunts.
yeah.
So I was already used to that strength and that hit.
Hmm.
Um, one Connecticut I do like is the Escobar because they use I think a Habano binder.
Hmm.
So it's a stronger. Connecticut.
Spicier.
Yeah, it's a good Connecticut actually. And there's a Gurkha one one of the Gurkhas at Connecticut's I like. I don't remember the name of it, but then also Arturo Fuente. Um, they got a Connecticut, that Chateau Fuente, Connecticut.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I know it's there's yeah, there's it's got the green.
Yeah,
Well, here's different, but in the States they have like you can differentiate from like the ribbons that they have on
yeah,
them
yeah, yeah.
sometimes. So like I think that one is the one that's
I
like
don't think the Fuentes here have ribbons. They have that.
no, they can't. They're not allowed to.
Yeah, they have that. I don't know what that like woody wrapper is on the bottom.
That's the cedar wood.
This, yeah,
It's just very thin
yeah,
cedar.
yeah, yeah. That they typically have those here,
Hmm.
not the bands or the ribbon. I'll call it. Escobars have the ribbons. Um, Mafias have the ribbons. What do you think about lunatics? Have you ever tried lunatics?
Yeah, I've had an 8x80. It took me 2.5 hours to smoke.
Yeah,
No, 2.5? No, three 3 hours and 20
yeah,
minutes to smoke.
yeah,
That 8x80. I actually like the Habano.
yeah.
It's actually good. But like you get to the point where you're just like, oh, I have so much more to go. You know, like it's they do make good cigars. The smaller ones, if you get the smaller ones in the States, like you can,
Yeah.
they're no problem. They're pretty
I
good.
find they're more novelty cigars.
Yeah.
I had the 8x80 for New Year's, and
Here?
yeah, and I started it at 10 o'clock. It was 12:30, and there was still like that much left.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm done.
You just can't.
It's the
Like,
first cigar I couldn't get through.
yeah.
I had the it was a 7x70 Dominion Venus.
Hmm.
I was able to get through that, but again, very hard to get through that cigar. Not because it was a bad cigar, just because it's just so much.
So yeah, it's a lot.
But I found the Lunatic, there wasn't much flavor to it.
Hmm.
Probably because of the size of it.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm done with those. No more. So
It's pretty cool.
so would you say that that is worth $41?
For the Canadian market, yeah, it's worth it. I'd say it's worth it. Um, if we translate it to US, I mean I think this retails for about like 17, $18 in the States. So $40, like we're talking about taxation and currency
Yeah,
exchange.
yeah,
It's worth it.
yeah, yeah. I've had some cigars where I smoked like the Eladio Diaz $20 cigar. I would pay $40 for that thing.
Yeah.
I've had $50 cigars. I'm like, I wouldn't pay fucking $10 for this shit.
Yeah,
You know?
unfortunately, I had something called and I'm not afraid to ruffle any feathers by saying this, but I had one called Q Havana or Havana Q.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah,
Absolutely
yeah.
terrible.
I smoked one of them.
I was curious because I just started working in a cigar lounge. This is how I got into the industry. When I moved to the States, I never got into cigars. I think I've only had like two Cuban cigars my whole life. I wasn't into cigars at all, but opportunity forwarded itself. I worked in a lounge. So and I had to learn the stock. I had to learn things and train my palate and um when I picked this thing up, I didn't know what to expect. I'm just like, well, let me try this one.
Yeah.
To this day, I have not found anything more disgusting.
Try Plan B.
What is that?
What's his name? The cigar brand that they wrap the leaf around the whole outside. Fuck, what's his name? Fuck, what is the name of the cigars? Anyways, they come and the whole cigar is wrapped with a leaf.
Mhm.
And people actually make the mistake of like lighting up the whole.
Oh, that's Oscar
That's
Valladares.
it. So,
Leaf by Oscar.
yes. So, what they do is they take the scraps of their cigars and they make what's called the Plan B. So it's essentially all the scraps of the premium cigars.
Mhm.
Not good. No, no good. No, it tastes like the fucking tobacco has been sitting on the floor and they swept it up and they rolled a cigar with it.
There you go. There's a level of earthiness for you.
Yeah, it's floor, that's for sure.
I will say with this one, um, I think this is probably aged maybe 3 years, uh, roughly maybe 2, 3 years. Um, I could be wrong, but the reason why I'm saying that is because I finally entered the final third here, and I do get some of that little mintiness. I do get some of that that's starting to come in, and it's actually I'm very sensitive to ammonia.
Okay,
I feel like the smoother the smoke is, the more I enjoy it.
yeah,
When it's got more ammonia, it's less smooth, and I feel like once it's gotten into this level, then I know it's probably aged maybe 2, 3 years for what I'm starting to taste, right? So it's starting that ammonia starting to linger a little bit.
okay,
It's becoming a little bitter, but that's not to say anything negative about this particular cigar. I actually enjoyed this a lot. And like once it gets here, I'm probably gonna smoke it till maybe about here. I think
okay.
that's where my tolerance is gonna be for that.
I think um, I'm pretty sure it's the 2 year age. I know it was within that 2 to 4 year.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's 2 year aged.
And then we got a little bit of tunneling going on, but that's not to say anything about the that's not to say anything about the brand itself or anything. Sometimes it happens.
Yeah, hand
We,
rolled products, that happens.
yeah, you get a little bit of tunneling, and that kind of affects the draw. It
Yeah,
becomes harder to get the smoke.
yeah. You know what I had happen? I had the Espinosa Murcielago,
Hmm.
and it's a box press.
I thought that thing looked like Batman when I first saw it.
That's why I picked it up because I got a thing with Batman.
Yeah.
And the oddest thing happened. Number one, and again, it's not to say it's a bad cigar,
Hmm.
just that specific one. It was very loose, and let's just say your heater is up here. I'll refer it in that sense. It started burning holes down here.
Mm.
It was not an enjoyable cigar for that aspect. So I bought another one,
Yeah.
and it burned perfect. Not my cup of tea in terms of the flavor or whatever, but just because I wanted to give it another try because I know there was, let's call a manufacturer defect with that.
Yeah.
And from my understanding, when they do box press, they put less tobacco in it because I guess with compression and that's what's his name what's his name Enrique, is that his name? Yeah, from Matilda Cigars. So we had him on the podcast. We were talking to him about that. I was actually explaining that to him. He's like, "Well, when we do box press, they put less tobacco because it's gonna be pressed real tight.
Hmm.
So you put less to make sure." So maybe that one didn't have as much tobacco. That's why there wasn't as much. It felt loose
Hmm.
and empty,
Yeah.
and maybe that's why it burnt the way it did. But yeah, that was a very odd burn.
So when you say it burnt the way it did, like it wasn't an even burn, right?
No, like it not only was it the heater up here, but it was literally like you would come down here and there would be holes burning down there. So it was smoking through it, but then popping out in other areas.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
For this draw thing that, like I mentioned, the draw gets affected when it starts to tunnel a little bit.
yeah,
Usually, what I recommend to fix that is you put a little bit more pressure between your fingers and you roll as you're
okay,
drawing, and then I can actually get smoke like normal. It's just, this is part of the hand roll thing, like you mentioned, right?
yeah,
It happens. Like one of the things that kind of bothers me is, and as a consumer, not as somebody who's worked in the industry, is that there's a lot of customers that will complain. They'll be like, "Oh, this is terrible. You got to give me another cigar." And it's like the only thing you do have to pay attention to is that this is a hand rolled industry. If you get something bad, it's kind of like when you go to the grocery store and you get a bad egg,
yeah,
it's cracked.
yeah,
Like, what are you gonna do? Go to the grocery store and ask them to refund you for the one egg? Like, no, you can't. You got to know that that's part of you might lose one,
yeah, yeah,
but you make the best out of your experience out of somebody who's just, you know, putting their money towards it. Some people say, "Oh, I got, it's my hard-earned dollars that I'm putting into this," and it's understandable
yeah,
that they would feel this way, right? But it's all part of the hand roll. It's all part of the hand roll. So if it happens, bad luck of the draw. when it's bad and it should be replaced is when it consistently happens.
Yeah, yeah,
That's when the manufacturer needs
yeah.
to have responsibility and say, you know what, we will replace this. We'll replace that box, because that's their fault.
Well, and even for example, like again, I love Notorious cigars. I smoke them regularly. I've
Hmm.
only ever had one where it, like unraveled a bit,
Yeah,
cracked a little bit, but then that could be storage issues
yeah,
or whatever the case is. I was never like, oh shit, fuck Notorious. It's like, no, this is just a one-off. Shit happens, right?
yeah,
Um, but you do get a lot of people that are, I guess, maybe in time, the more you understand, they'll get a bad cigar and be like, fuck them.
yeah, yeah. That's unfortunate because one situation, like again, going back to produce or something, right?
Yep.
Like an apple, you get a one bad apple out of the bunch. It doesn't mean that you're gonna stop buying apples altogether. So that's part of the beef that I have with some consumers.
Yeah. Like I got my little smoky pokey here.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
smoke my cigars down till like you can't smoke them anymore.
yeah,
That comes from I guess my blunt days where you get the little roach clip going and
yeah, yeah.
yeah. It's have you ever had experienced cigar beetles?
Never. I've seen it. I've heard about it.
Yeah.
I've never personally experienced that, but it's it's something that's actually getting phased out pretty well. It's very rare that that happens, especially when you have, you know, brands that have a recognition and stuff. They've figured out ways to get rid of it. Like some people will use pesticides on their crops and stuff, and that's something to be very wary of.
Yeah.
We kind of don't know who uses what
Yeah.
in the industry, but some people have a way of just their QA is pretty good when it comes to just the tobacco leaf sitting and aging.
Yeah.
They have ways of making sure that that doesn't happen.
Yeah. I unfortunately experienced it.
How did you experience it? Like what happened?
So I picked up a bundle from a store. I'm not gonna name the store, not for the fact that um I don't want people to be like, oh, don't go there because cigar beetles. It
Yeah,
happens.
yeah,
For whatever the reason is, the beetle made it through. So I open up the bundle and I had just worked a long day. And I was sitting at the table and I opened up the bundle and I seen this little fucking red thing just crawling. I'm like, oh, grabbed it
in the pack, like
on
in
the
the.
table.
Oh,
So it was alive.
how?
It was within the bundle, but not within the actual cellophane wrapper. But it
Okay.
was inside the bundle.
Ah,
And so I grabbed the beetle, tossed it. I put the cigar. I take all my cigars out of the wrappers. I put them in the humidor. I went to have a nap. I wake up. I'm like, fuck, cigar beetles. That's what that was. So I started panicking.
mm,
So I went down, took everything out of the humidor, and I got a big light and I started looking at everything. And then I did the tap thing. You know, they say you tap it, and if like dust starts falling out, there's been cigar beetles in there.
okay.
So I started doing that with the cigars, and I found 5 or 6 that actually had the holes in them, so you could see that the beetle was eating into it.
Yeah.
So I tossed those, and what I did was the ones that didn't have any evidence of beetles, like there was no dust coming from it, no holes,
Hmm.
I separated those. I inspected everything else, put it back in the humidor. And that was my experience with cigar beetles. I let the store know, like, hey, just so you know, this is what happened. Not because I was complaining, but it's like, just in case, just keep an eye on your
There
humidor,
might be
right?
others. Yeah.
And, you know, the store is really awesome. They're like, here, we're gonna give you how many was it? It was this many cigars. Okay. They gave me the cigars back.
Hmm.
Not that I went there asking for that. It was just like, just to let you know, right? And so they're really, really good about it. I just don't want to say the name because you never know how some people like, okay, so a cigar beetle came out of that store, so I'm not going there.
And it could just be a one-off, like totally one-off. It might never happen in a
Yeah,
year or something.
yeah. It just, I always heard, you know, they exist, but it's very rare for it to happen, and just my fucking luck, it happened with me. And yeah, there's little tiny, tiny red bugs, and yeah, they chew holes. It looks like a bunch of pinholes in the cigar.
Yeah,
And sure enough, the ones that had the pinholes, I did the tap, and all this dust started falling out of it. I was like, okay,
it's weird. There's I've had this instance not with a cigar, but with like uh like peppers. So being in I lived in California first, and we learned how to make like tacos and using like proper, what do they call them, chiles over there, like
yeah,
the peppers, right? And every time we cooked them, you can cook them with the seeds and stuff, but I liked the really, really spicy ones. I kind of like to save the seeds, and I was gonna age the seeds
okay,
and put them in a little container and just age the seeds, and then turn it into powder and use that to cook.
yeah,
That was what my goal was. I had these seeds aging for like like it was almost coming up on 3 years. Totally forgot about them. So I go and I'm like, oh yeah, there's this. I'm gonna grind these. So I left them on the counter,
yeah.
and I didn't notice it. But the next morning, when I was about to open the container, all these bugs were in it, and I didn't
Mm,
even know where they came from because when I was looking at the seeds, I don't recall bugs in the seeds,
yeah,
but somehow there was a whole bunch of bugs in there. So there had to have been bugs that had laid eggs, and
yeah.
somehow I didn't notice it. But there was at least like 30 something bugs in that container with all the. I'm like, how do you survive on pepper seeds? Like how? And it was a sealed tight container, so there was no oxygen in there. I'm like, how do these things survive, man? It's insane.
That's what I wonder too, because like so when you typically buy a bundle, all the cigars are individually wrapped in the cellophane, and then they're all wrapped together in a plastic,
Yeah,
and then they get shipped, and then they could be sitting in that store for who knows how long till it's sold.
yeah,
How the fuck do the things survive?
yeah.
There's
There's
no oxygen.
no, they're sealed tight.
I don't know. It's one of those miracles of nature, I guess.
Yeah,
Oh,
it blows my mind sometimes.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was not a. It was a very panicked situation because I'm like, shit. If one escaped and for somehow got into one of my other cigars, it's like now I'm fucked. But it was one of those. It wasn't a premium cigar bundle.
mm,
I was trying it out. It could be like a daily thing, or I'm doing some work around the house, or just smoke it. Who cares what happens? From Nicaragua, and from my understanding, and they've done a lot of things to weed out the cigar beetles in Nicaragua. Like they freeze the tobacco.
mm.
Um, so apparently you're not supposed to worry about stuff like that from certain countries. But no, it was Nicaraguan cigars, and it had beetles.
Insane.
And apparently we could be sitting down right now and smoking larvae.
It could be.
You never know until humidity and temperature reaches a certain level, and then boom, they hatch.
And same goes for like mold too.
Hmm.
Sometimes like some cigars will have some mold in it, and then you won't even know. Like you won't even know until you open it, right? But some people will put that into their humidor, and the next thing you know, there's like five of them that are growing mold, and it's like, oh my god, like my stash.
Hmm. I had recently cigars that were sent to me, and when I got them, completely covered in mold. It
Sheesh.
was just like white spots everywhere on the outside. And my wife was like, "Yeah, just toss those."
Yeah.
Like,
It's just like moldy bread. You don't even want to
yeah.
risk it.
Some
You
people
just
say just wipe it down and smoke it, but the whole thing with mold is it's the inhaling aspect of it,
yeah.
not the edible aspect. It's the inhaling, and it's just like, yeah, you don't know if it's moldy inside.
Mm.
So unfortunately, I had to toss those cigars. So it seems like I've experienced a lot of the issues with cigars that are not common, but for some reason they happen to me.
I say it's a Canada thing maybe. It's just it's the market and the fact that the market is not competitive,
Yeah,
and the fact that it gets taxed so heavy, and people want to business owners want to get most of the profit that they can. I'm not suggesting anybody in particular. I'm just saying as a general thing that I can see happening is more profit might come with lower grade or
yeah.
whatever, and the QA might not be there for some of these companies.
Do you see the industry in Canada slowly diminishing because of now they want to implement, you know, the the barcodes and whatever the case is
Mm.
for each cigar. So now that's going to increase costs. So do you see it in a sense of like Canada's not going to outright ban it, but they're just going to make it next to impossible to afford it?
That's where it looks like it's going, sadly. Um, they're making it tougher. Regulations are getting heavier, and it's uh, it's a shame because I really truly think that Canada could be a very, very like it could be a massive industry. Um, considering again, there's so many people on vapes, and
Yeah,
what people don't recognize is that it's not real nicotine. It's synthetically created in a lab, and that is has it's already having effects on people's health. Like there's people going to the hospitals for lung issues, and like, what do you do? Oh, I vape. You don't see anybody with cigars in the hospital for lung issues.
no,
You
you
know,
don't.
not even really cigarettes.
Yeah,
There's some people that have other underlying issues where they could be experiencing some health problems, and it accelerates with smoking, and again you're taking it into your
yeah,
lungs,
yeah, yeah,
right? So that there's things that could totally be avoided, but you still get what it is that your body needs.
yeah,
Some of us need relief. I got
yeah,
some health issues that everybody back in Vegas, everybody that knows my life, they know I got some health issues that ever since I had discovered cigars, I'm like, this is the greatest thing that I've ever come across because it actually helps me relieve my day,
yeah,
and I'm not actually hurting my lungs.
yeah.
I'm not putting anything synthetic in my body. It's all natural. And that's what I appreciate.
What was living in the States for, you said, 5 years?
Yeah.
What was, we'll call it a culture shock. But what was the biggest shock in terms of the way of life and coming back into Canada, having been absent for 5 years?
Phew, that's changed a lot. And it's only been 5 years that I've been out of the country, but there's been a lot of people that have come from other countries, which is cool because this is just what this country is. We've always had immigration. We've always had people of all the cultures. I grew up with so many cultures, and
Yeah,
when I went to elementary school and stuff, so it's normal to me.
yeah,
But one thing I've noticed is that it's there's been a lot more of the Canadian way of life, like just having pride of ownership, respecting your neighbors, and just being harmonious, just in general.
yeah,
I feel like that is like diminished so much. And the biggest culture shock is that when I went to the States, I feel like I don't want to be so general. I don't want to be sound like I'm offending anybody, but then there's white people, there's black people, there's Latinos, there's Indian people, there's Asian people. Everybody's pretty much segregated
yeah,
in the States. Everyone still has that level of segregation where here is in Canada, we're forced to assimilate, right?
yeah.
And we're just used to it. That's just what Canada is. So there's still those big differences. Um, but coming back here, I'm like I noticed a very, very heavy like South Asian population here a lot more.
Yeah,
And there's people that maybe could take a or might benefit from learning about what it actually means to be Canadian in Canada, and be more respective of your neighbors and other
do you
cultures.
think that
Because
even exists anymore, though? Like, what is Canadian now?
when I
What?
was when I was growing up, um Canadian. Well, when I was growing up, what we looked at as Canadians, 'cause I'm Latino, right?
Yeah,
So we saw uh, Eastern European people that have been here for at least three generations.
yeah,
Um, UK, Scottish, Irish people that have been here for generations, maybe hundreds of years, perhaps.
yeah.
This to me was Canadian,
Okay.
right? And then I grew up with some Indian people. I grew up with like Polish people, with like Turkish people, Portuguese people, Italian people. They've been there for at least a few decades,
Yeah,
and they've all assimilated. They've all accepted. We work with other people, and we're cool, and we're actually cool exploring each other's foods and cultures and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
We make the effort to accept.
yeah,
That's what I think. That's what's missing. What's missing is the respect and to want to accept that there's others. Whereas it's changed a lot, and we grew up playing hockey,
yeah.
street hockey. We
Okay.
grew up, learning to deal with the snow. Like we all have the same problems here in Canada.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
weather
yeah.
is a big a big conditioner of how we act in this
It's
country.
a big downfall in this. It's good because if you're into like outside sports, snowboarding, snowmobiling, skiing, stuff like
Yeah.
that, it's good. When I was a kid, I used to play street hockey, and even in the wintertime,
Mhm.
didn't matter. If it was a nice dry day, you could still go out and play some basketball or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just tolerate the cold.
We would play basketball until we couldn't bounce the ball anymore because of the snow. Like we were always out there, you know?
But in terms of the segregation, I kind of see Canada steering that way a little bit right now. You're getting more and more, this only wants to deal with this, and this only wants to deal with that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where, again, it's not the way I seen things growing up, because where I grew up, there was so many different types of people.
Yeah.
And it was just like you operated as well. Merry Christmas, da 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 da. Like everybody still celebrate the same holidays, and there's nothing wrong with celebrating your individual holiday.
Yeah.
But everybody seems like they came to Canada because they wanted to be Canadian.
Yeah.
And now it's like you come to Canada to take advantage of the system.
Yeah, there's a lot of that right now.
And in that sense, it's divided what being Canadian was initially about, because essentially Canada was, they wanted to be this multicultural like utopia where everyone from all over the world can come and live in as one and live in peace, and have a life and a family and this and this. And
I'm a
now
first
it's,
world country.
yeah, and now it's not like that anymore.
Yeah. It's a shame because that it just seems like it was a good experiment for a while, but now it's totally changed. Like that, it's for what it was supposed to be. I think it's failed now. I think it's totally failed,
Yeah,
and now it's time to just put your head down and just do the best that you can and just respect your neighbors. Just that's my advice to anybody. Just respect your neighbors. We know that there's people that aren't going to assimilate. We know that there's some people that are not going to respect what it is that the lifestyle that we've lived here. Because being Canadian, I don't think is an identity. I just think it's a lifestyle more than
yeah,
anything.
yeah,
Um, and if there's other people that don't want to really accept it, then that's their choice, right? And
yeah.
it really shouldn't affect my day. Like it shouldn't change the way I feel about how I'm living my life and what I'm accomplishing to live here. And it shouldn't change that.
That's why I moved to almost the country, because out here you get, it's still very multicultural,
Yeah.
but it's almost like the way Canada was in the 80s and the 90s.
Mm,
Everyone's multicultural, but they're out here because they want to get away from that new Canada aspect
mm.
and live the old way in
Yeah.
peace. You know, there's no dramas out here. Everyone's friendly. You can go and you can get your Caribbean stores, and you get your Asian stores and stuff like that. It's still very multicultural here, but it's the way it used to be. That's
Yeah.
what I like about it. It's almost like, they say you can't go back and relive the past. You, it's kind of like what I'm doing right now. I'm reliving the past and the way the old Canada used to be.
True.
Apparently, there's a lot of Colombians out here. I don't know where they're hiding at, but there's a lot of Mexicans out here. They work the farms, and because of that, they carry a lot of Mexican stuff in the grocery stores,
Mhm.
which is awesome. Fresh tortillas and stuff like that, like real tortillas.
Yeah.
Still waiting to find the Colombians, but yeah, it's very multicultural here, the way it used to be. That's what I like about it. It's very peaceful.
Yeah.
You know, it's a relaxed life out here. Nobody's in a rush. It's awesome. I like it. And then eventually one day, if it changes, I'll keep on moving.
Yeah.
But
That's also part of it, I think. How we've looked at our careers and how much stress we put into our careers. I think that plus being of a certain class too. Like once you get above $50,000 a year to $100,000 a year, you have a totally different thing. And I think that hustle and bustle definitely has a damper on that. So you being in this region is like you're seeing less of that. So I
Hmm.
mean, you know, again, it's such a it's so hard to put your finger on what exactly it is. There's so many factors, but yeah, man, I do say that I do miss the older days of Canada. I will say that. And but you know, these days it's we're facing like bigger problems, you know, economic problems.
Oh yeah, that 50,000 to 100,000 range used to be you could live a really good life off that, and
Yeah.
that's essentially going to be translated to lower income. Not
Yeah,
not too far away.
it's insane. We used to talk about, you know, you go get a career, you go to university, and you can get yourself something when like the 60 to $100
Yep,
$100,000 range, and that would have taken care of your life, taken
yep,
care. You could have a family, but
yep.
it's just insane how much everything costs now, and it makes that really hard for even young people now. Like two people who just went to university and now have you know, maybe together make about $120,000, $140,000 a year, are struggling.
And they're still paying off that university debt. If somebody outside of Canada was like, "Oh, I want to move to Canada,"
Yeah,
would you advise them against it?
I'll just tell them to stack their dough because it's really expensive.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. You definitely got to come here with money.
like when I came back, I actually another shock, the grocery store. That was a big shock because I was eating steak and eggs every day for breakfast. I'd go to the store, stock up
Hmm.
on the steaks, and throw it in the freezer. And when I came back, I'm like, steak is how much? I'm like, I'm only eating maybe a third of what I was eating in the States, you know, and
Yeah, a lot of people are being forced to spend less and eat less because they can't afford to eat.
I think some people can afford to fast.
Yeah, I might take up fasting a little bit.
It's not bad. I actually have done it a few times. Fasting is what I've learned from fasting is that we I don't have a medical thing to back this up, right? But I can say that when I fasted for 24 hours or fasted for 48 hours, my body feels amazing.
I've
Feels
heard,
great, reduces inflammation, and just I think that should be a regular thing that we do sometimes,
yeah.
you know?
Well, if you go back into the old days, people didn't eat 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
They ate when they could eat.
Mhm.
They ate 1 meal a day, and this I think the 3 meal a day thing has been fabricated to make us unhealthy in a way.
I think so. It's added to our grocery bill.
Oh, definitely. I remember spending like $300 at the grocery store. That would last you a month.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now that's like a 3 day stock, and then you got to go back again.
I think somebody said I saw this video on Instagram. Somebody's like this girl, she was freaking out. She was having a crash out moment. And but with all good reason, right? She went to the grocery store. I think she spent $80 and she had bought a thing of chicken breasts, like a big thing. I think there was at least 6 or 8 chicken breasts, broccoli, a bag of frozen broccoli, and a tub of Greek yogurt and something else, I think. And that came up to nearly $100. I'm like,
Yeah,
that'll
yeah,
last you 3, 4 days.
yeah,
Like we still have 30 days in the month. Like that's
yep.
insane.
The best thing that you could do is try to source your at least proteins from straight from the farms.
That'd be good if you have the availability for that.
It You're getting healthier meat and typically a little bit cheaper. Like I go to the grocery store and I look at the chicken breast in the grocery store and it's like gray. Doesn't even look like chicken.
Yeah, yeah, I wouldn't eat that if I were you.
No, and then like you look at the meat and it's not appetizing.
I'll say that I went to the grocery store and I bought the beef that I normally get. And for a while, I was just like, I don't know what it is. It's just the Canadian beef tastes a little different to me. I ended up going to a butcher shop where they get more natural
Yeah,
stuff, and I couldn't believe the difference. I was like, this is so delicious. what the hell was I eating before? Like,
It's because the beef you get at the grocery stores is almost like mass produced.
mhm,
So they gotta pump the animals with steroids, make them grow bigger, quicker,
mhm,
and the animals themselves don't get exercise, so you get a lot of fat content.
mhm,
And I hate when you buy a piece of meat and you're paying X amount and you cook it and you're like, okay, well, three-quarters of it's fat.
mhm.
Like, what am I paying for? So when you can source from, a good butcher shop where they get direct from farm, or if you can go straight to the farm, the flavor and the quality of the meat's way better than the grocery store. And we've experienced that with chickens. We don't buy chicken anymore unless it's from who we source it from.
Mhm.
Way different, way better, tastes better. We know how it's raised. We know what's in the chicken,
Yeah,
and it's a bit more peace of mind because you never know. Like they just tried to pull off the whole clone meat thing.
yeah.
Apparently they reneged on it, but again, who fucking knows?
That's scary. Like
That's super scary.
we're basically like 3D printing meat. Like that's scary. Come on.
Yeah.
I heard something that we're supposed to eventually start eating bugs. They're going to be mass producing bugs, and they're going to turn bugs as like as a source of our protein because they want us to reduce what we eat in beef.
Well, they
And
tried that a few years ago. You were in the States, so I don't know if they were doing that there, but here they were trying to really push the bugs on you. Yeah,
so that actually was happening.
it was actually happening. That was a real
Jesus.
thing, and it was scary. So I don't want to eat unless I'm in the woods and I need to survive. I don't want to eat bugs. It's definitely not something I'm like, ooh, bugs. Let me try that out. you know. But yeah, on that note, appreciate you coming on. It was a great learning experience for myself,
Thank you for having me.
and it gave me some things to study about cigars. I really want to get my knowledge and my depth of flavors to a next level. So I'm going to carry a lot of the stuff that you spoke about and I'm going to put it to work and see if it can make a difference for me.
For sure.
But,
Elevate your experience, man.
but on that note, appreciate it. Ciao.